When discussing the University of Iowa's rich history, the Fieldhouse can't go without being talked about. Sitting at the top of the hill on the west side of the University of Iowa campus at 225 Grand Avenue lies the historic Fieldhouse. Today in the public eye, it might seem like a giant waste of space when we have the almost brand new Campus Recreation and Wellness Center just a few blocks down the street. But if people begin to know and understand the deep and important history behind this building, I feel opinions would quickly begin to change. Over the years, the Fieldhouse has served more purposes for the Hawkeyes than any other structure on campus, and that is what makes it so special. Over the past 80 years, the Fieldhouse has been home to many important events, but the main purpose was to house collegiate sports teams and events, which also included intramurals and competition, along with recreational use and everyday exercise. The original building was 412 feet wide by 430 feet long and was paid for by the Athletic Council at the University of Iowa. The architects behind the design of this building were three men from Des Moines, Iowa. Their names were Proudfoot, Rawson, and Sowers. The goal of these three architects was to keep the Gothic theme consistent with the surrounding buildings, which had very detailed and obvious features such as arched windows, limestone, brick, and other special ornamental touches. The structure was built onto a pre-existing armory, which explains the arch on the rear facade of the building. The building was completed in 1927 and is ready to be opened to the public. According to a recent Daily Iowan by Torque Mason, quote, "The Fieldhouse was considered state-of-the-art when it opened in 1927. There was no finer or larger building of its kind in the world," end quote, according to the dedication program published on January 13, 1927. As we look at it now, it may look a little run down, but we can't take away the true value that comes with it. It was a sporting powerhouse, to say the least. It was home to the men's basketball team, swim team, track team, gymnastics team, wrestling program, and also had enough room for any indoor activity available at the university at the time. The original floor of the building was made of dirt, which made it ideal for track and field events, but was then converted in the upcoming years. According to the University of Iowa's recreational service page, quote, "When built, the swimming pool was the largest indoor collegiate swimming pool in the United States," end quote. There was no other pool in the United States like the one we had here. Not only was the pool the biggest at the time, but we also founded the butterfly stroke in the Fieldhouse pool in 1934. The Fieldhouse was a truly amazing and ecstatic place to play basketball. Acting as home court for the men's basketball team for 56 seasons until the year of 1982, when the team switched to the newly built Carver Hawkeye Arena for the 1983 season. The Fieldhouse was also a regional site for the NCAA basketball tournament 4 times, in 1954, 1956, 1964, and 1966. At its peak, the Fieldhouse stands were able to hold up to 13,365 people at a time. Basketball fans were loud and full of excitement, and it was definitely noticeable in the Fieldhouse. Quote, "The sound just reverberated in there, and the place would shake with excitement. It was a definite home court advantage," end quote, according to Jim Zabel from Torque Mason's Daily Iowan. Not only did the college teams play in the Fieldhouse, but high school basketball state championships were also held inside the legendary Fieldhouse to let high school players experience how electric the Fieldhouse really was. Obviously, the Fieldhouse's main purpose was to serve as a sporting center for the university, but it also played many important roles that weren't related to sports. Specifically during World War II in the 1940s. During the 40s, the ROTC needed room to train and also house their soldiers. The war was turning into more and more of a problem, and soldiers needed to be ready at any given moment. The Fieldhouse then acted as a war barrack for the Navy pre-flight training program. But even before World War II was at its peak, the Fieldhouse provided cheap and easy accommodations for almost 100 students who paid $1 per week to rent a cot and a locker during the Great Depression. The Armory was then demolished in 1989 to make room for the up-and-coming University of Iowa hospitals and also the John Papa John Pavilion. Although the Armory is no longer present, the steel arch still remains very distinguishable, showing where two structures were once combined. Even though a renovation took place in 1985, the Fieldhouse made sure to keep some special and important aspects of the original building. For example, the original hawk that once hung above the basketball court still hangs in the Fieldhouse to this day. Like I mentioned before, the steel arch on the rear facade of the building still clearly shows a point where the Armory and Fieldhouse came together as one. Along with all the remaining physical features inside, the Fieldhouse has held on to some of the most magical moments in Iowa's history, and people have made memories in that building, whether it was playing or cheering on the Hawkeyes. It was and still is a building that holds a lot of meaning to a lot of people. Although we don't use it in the same way that we used to, we can't forget how special and important this building once was. Today, the Fieldhouse still serves its purpose as an athletic complex, although the only Division I competitions still held here are both the men and women's gymnastics teams, which had their facilities recently renovated. Swimming was moved to the CRWC when it opened in 2010, and basketball is played in Carver Hawkeye Arena. The main focus now for the fieldhouse is for intramurals and regular everyday public use. There's always something going on, and it's not hard to get involved. Just about anybody can use fieldhouse equipment, at a small expense of course, but every penny will be worth being in such a historic building. It contains 8 basketball and volleyball courts, 5 badminton courts, a jogging track, weightlifting facility, 8 multi-activity rooms, and classrooms for the health and human physiology department. There was rumors that the whole building would be knocked down, but for the moment that isn't the case. So next time you're walking by the fieldhouse, think twice when thinking about why it's still here, and maybe stop inside to embrace what an incredible building it really is, because you never know how much longer it'll be around for us.